or Princeton. Do I have Princeton? Oh, I have somebody win Princeton, but she never gave me a flat. The pastor.
So you'll get a flag. Anyway.
Okay.
Did you maximize your screen?
Yeah.
See, you did it with enough energy this time that he heard you.
It's not because you're black.
Ouch.
You just had to speak up louder. So question about this comb. The comb problem is a little bit harder, but but easier to understand. But it's just the process, math process, is a little bit harder. So I'm going to draw a comb first. And I'm going to have a comb like this. Okay. That was a really pretty comb. So I will have this radius of 10 feet across. So this from here to here is 10 feet. And from here to here is 12 feet. Any questions here?
Isn't the radius half the
Yeah, you can do radius. And that's good that Devin point out says radius from here to here, it's 5. And here to here is 12. Now there is a water's being pumped in, so there's a water drip inside here. It's probably a hose, and you know the water is coming inside. So there's a water here. And at a water height is going to be 8. And they're asking you different things. Question about this part. So this is just drawing. It turns out this question has 2 relationships, not only one. Yeah, go ahead. No. Well, so sort of, the not like entirely.
You mean like the formulas?
Yeah. So what will be the relationship here? First major relationship. Volume of comb. Do you guys know what's a volume of comb? What is volume of comb? It's 1/3 of a cylinder. So if you know pi r squared h is a cylinder, it's 1/3 of that. There's no 1 is 3/4. There's 1 is 4/3 pi r cubed. That's a sphere. But this is a 1/3 pi r squared h. Got it? If I were to take a derivative in this moment, you're gonna have problem because you're gonna have. Hopefully, you can foresee that you have to do product rule, and you have dr dt and dh dt. But dh dt is what they're asking. But the problem is the question never give you dr dt. So this is the first relationship. You want to find the second relationship can reduce that variable down to 1. Okay. So if I went ahead to take a derivative, which is we did that on the first note, and that was just a long derivative, it's product rule. But that product rule, it has something that we don't have, dr dt. That's unfortunate. But then you say, okay, well, let's think about this. Is there any way I can create a second relationship? What other information is giving? And how do I create those relationships? What is it? Area of circle doesn't help you here because it's just shrinking. We don't have dA dt either. So it's not helping. What kind of triangle? It is triangle. What kind of triangle? Where do you see triangle here?
The 5 and the 12.
5 and 12. What is that called?
It's like the x and the y, like x squared plus y squared equals.
5, 12. Okay. The problem is I don't really need the hypotenuse because that's called lateral height.
Area? The area?
No.
This is what I know.
Tilt your head sideways. Thank you.
Wait, what?
Natalie say something. So can you see the second relationship? The second one here? The second relationship for the thing is 5/12, right? It's a ratio between what? R and H. Does that make sense? Now, what's the nice thing about this is this will help you reduce a variable. The key thing is a lot of you guys don't know what you solve for. Now let's read the question again. The question says we're gonna talk about this. So we have 10 feet, we have 12 feet. We used that already. We have 10 cubic feet. What is 10 cubic feet, by the way? No. Water is flowing the rate at a 10 cubic feet. So water is flowing at different things at 10 cubic feet. So what does 10 cubic feet mean?
Oh, like, yeah.
Change in volume.
What is it, Devin?
Change in volume.
dV dt is equal to 10 feet cube per what? Per minute? Now, how do I know its value? What's easiest way to identify it as a value? Yes. Cube, yes. So anything you take physics, you know something to the cube, it's value.
What do you mean this value?
It's volume.
Like
Oh, it's
value. Okay, so now how does that second relationship? Because you want to avoid product rule because why?
We don't know DRDT.
Because drdt is not present. Not there. So then use the second relationship. Guess what? The second relationship is nice. So v equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. So I'm gonna use second relationship. I'm gonna solve for h. Solve for r. 5/12 h. I multiply h on both sides, and that's equal to volume equal to 1/3 pi, and this is gonna be 5/12 h square h. Now what happened? We only have one variable to deal with. We don't have drdt to work with anymore. We just work really strict with the h. Just like that cylinder problem you have yesterday. You have r is 10. Now that just reduce that variable. It just become a simple one variable differentiations. And this is becoming one variable differentiation. It's just a little bit messy, but it's manageable. So v equal to 1/3 pi. You need to learn how to work the math. So it'll be 25/144 h to the third. Why h squared times h is going to be h to the third. Don't be afraid to take a derivative. The only variable you have is what?
H to the cube.
What happens when you take a derivative of the h to the cube?
Then the 1/3 cancels out, and then you have like pi 25/144 h squared. and
Very good.
dh over dt.
Wow.
144 pi. And the h cube cancel out. It's going to be h squared dh dt. You want to give a shout out to Edison?
Sure.
Everybody wants
She did a good shout out to me. Yeah.
Shout out to Edison.
Devin's covering.
Shout out to Edison.
You
Edison.
guys are not gonna say it to your phone.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We miss you, bro.
Wow. So good in your swim meet, probably, right? Yeah.
First place for him.
First place. Kick ass. Okay, so this is like a lack of energy there. That was not that's not what Edison's hoping for. Edison's like a high energy
So
person.
You're rocking these relative rates. So easy.
Okay, so we're gonna
Let's hear it. What happened?
okay, first of all, somebody gotta explain to me what's base mean.
Just like
DHDT is gonna be DHDT is unknown. DVDT is 10.
It's all over.
So what I do is I just simplify this. I move everything to the other side, and but I'm gonna simplify it more. So 25 or 144 pi times 64 and dHdt. So 64, I'm gonna simplify with different color. What is 64 can divide it to? Can 144 divide 32? No.
32 times.
Okay, I'm just gonna do 4. So 4 is 16, and this 4 is gonna be what? What's 144 divided by 4? 36.
Period.
So I can divide it by 4 again, so it's 4 and 9. So I can divide by 16. I should have done that first time. So let's just go with 16. So 16, that's going to be 4. That's going to give you 9. So if I multiply 9 over, it's going to be 90. And 100 pi on the bottom. And equal to dH dt. And which is 9 over 10 pi. Voila! Ta-da!
Oh. Yeah, favorite of a night. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go with the second about the.
No, we're gonna buy. No, it's gay. We're gonna buy.
So, what did you do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, Kelly. There.
So there's a lot of relationship that you see here is similar triangle and the volume. So this one's kind of hard. How much time I have? Cool. Can I explain one more problem? Is it this problem? Understand? Shout out to who? Can you do what?
Shadow.
Shadow? Yeah, sure. We're gonna do Shadow now. Shadow, we're gonna ask a lot of questions. So, when Edison that is not here, does she ever call Devin to get help or no? I don't know your group, how your group functions.
Does Addison call you
No.
for help?
She can figure things out.
Yeah.
All right,
It's like
she built different.
let's do
She's actually really smart. She's really rude. She's a happy child. She's always happy. I never seen her get upset about anything. That's a cool thing about her. Even I tried to sabotage her relationship. So she's listening. She's probably laughing right now. So
6 feet, man.
a 6 feet man, yes. It could be a woman. If you want to be a woman, it's fine. Okay.
6 feet man. Not really. Okay.
Why is that rare?
I don't know. It would
Are
be
you trying to
short.
get like a traffic one?
For
Or?
the system.
No.
What?
Okay, Kelly. Okay. Yeah.
Kelly, come back to math, please. No boys.
Yeah.
So a man of 6 feet tall walk at a rate of 5 feet per second, away from the light, at the shadows 15 feet above the ground. Usually I did an experiment, but this period we don't have time to do that, unfortunately. But if you ever want to see that experiment, we just turn off all the lights and we show you how shadows growing. A lot of people don't realize that things is like this. I'm gonna draw a picture, and that's my lamppost. And don't judge my stick figure because they are kind of funny. Like this, I think.
6 foot man.
Yep.
How tall's a lamppost?
15. Yeah, it's proportional. Whatever. We're gonna make shorter.
It's a little tall. For
A little tall. Fine. Like this.
You know what? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. That's fine. It doesn't have to be proportionate.
It's 2.5 times. Yeah. So you don't have to be pretty now. So it's casting a shadow. casting a shadow.
Can you connect his body? Can you connect his body?
Please. Like it's fine, just.
Is that very short arm, long leg?
Very short.
It's like this. So we're gonna we're gonna label how tall he is. This is a 6. This is kind of important information. He's 10 feet from away. What else information? He's walking at a rate of 5 feet per second. We spent all period yesterday to talk about if I would assign a variable, I'm gonna assign the x on the bottom and y, x here and y here. You can assign any way you want, as long as you have to keep the right orientation. And what kind of relationship I'm seeing here?
Triangle.
Similar triangles, right? So here's my question. The man is walking at 5. This is the first question I asked everybody to vote yesterday. This person is walking 5 feet per second. Is that a dx dt or dy dt? That's the first question. Is it dx dt or dy dt if this man is walking at 5 feet per second? I don't know. I'm asking. I want you to think.
Why is he walking?
Oh, wait.
So you have to make a choice. Whether dx dt or dy dt, I'm gonna ask you to raise your hand to make a right choice. So he's walking 5 feet per second at 10 feet away. Is that dx dt? Who vote dy dt? Raise your hand. 5 feet per second. Is that dy dt or dx dt? Who vote dy dt? Who vote dx dt? 2 people, 3, 4, 5. dx dt? 7. Anybody vote for dy dt? Everybody stand. Nobody vote for dy dt. Anthony? Anthony and Nathan?
Anthony and Nathan. I'm voting. I'm changing.
What?
I'm changing my vote.
You cannot base on what other people. You have to have your own belief.
No, but they're too good. They're too good.
Hold on. I did not do well on that derivatives test.
You don't have to expose yourself.
But I figured, like, if they're walking the entire length of X, like, wouldn't it be on the X? So it'd be the X dt?
What time we get off here again? 9:10?
Why would it be? Okay, like, this is the line, and this is Y, and you're taking this X. Why would it just be Y?
Okay, how about you guys convince each other your beliefs right? What'd you say? Shh. Somebody want to provide a feedback? Is Anthony?
dx over dt.
No, but I told you they were too good. So that makes sense. That makes hella sense.
He's 10 feet away from the and he's walking 5 more feet per second.
If they're only talking about the length that he's already walked, then it would be dy dt. But he's only walked for 10 feet.
You guys gotta learn to think on your own feet because I'm gonna send you a K-drama clip.
Ooh, which one?
Which one?
It's talking about a math professor, a math genius. He's a defector from North Korea. And he's working on South Korea. He's actually he works as a janitor because he doesn't have a paper, so he works as a janitor. And but he's a genius. So he's janitor at this really good math school. Very, very good. All the best math genius all in the same school. I'm gonna send you guys a clip. Please watch it. There's 3 things I will tell you. Don't worry about the fail process. That is the very, very important process. Solution is not always the answers. Process is the most important. So understand the process. You watch that movie, you will see what am I talking about. It's actually a very good movie recap. It's not a movie, just like a 15 minutes clip of just they recap the movie. Have you watched those movie recaps? And they are pretty fast, very concise. Very good movie, by the way. The movie is called In All Prime.
Is it dy or dx?
Yeah, so, okay, so who says dydt? Raise a hand. 2 people now, 3? Okay, who says dx dt? And what happened to the rest of you guys? You guys don't stand the ground? Deborah doesn't stand the ground? Kelly doesn't stand the ground? dyx over dt. No, it's not. That's for sure not. That's the one thing I'm gonna.
Because I have like it's a limit because they both make sense. I don't know which one is making more sense.
I don't know.
Or what can
Because
clarify
it's
that
moving in
is like.
forward direction, and because it's positive, not, I don't know.
But either way, it's positive.
You guys have got 1 minute to come up with solutions. Come on.
dy.
The man's walking 5 feet per second. Is that dy dt or dx dt? I already assigned the x and
If
assigned the
he's
y.
walking 5 per second and he's only walked 10 feet away, then wouldn't I be taking the measure of y? But then y is within x, and x is the part where he's relevant to the shadow that's created by the light. So wouldn't it be dx?
It's not
Okay, since we don't have enough time, I'm gonna give you an answer. Usually, I will let you debate it out. I think 1 year I have a valedictorian. 5 years ago, his name is Nick Nguyen. He was the only person that picked the wrong answer, and he convinced everybody else he's right. And a whole class turned to his answer. End up everybody got it wrong. And I knew what happened because I was laughing because I always want to make fun of this kid. He's really smart and he thinks he's really smart. I want to make him feel stupid. So I didn't say anything the whole time.
So
The answer is dy dt.
Nathan answered
Because
the
y
question,
is increasing.
can't repeat.
X is also increasing, but it's not a direct recurrence. X is what Anthony says. That's how fast the shadow is growing. Okay. So, with that being said, dx dt is equal to 5, right? dx dt is 5. Oh, so dy dt, my bad. Confused. dy dt?
yeah.
My fault. Okay, so dy dt is 5. And what kind of relationship? Similar triangle. X over 6 is equal to what? No. No. They are changing.
Y,
What?
Y over 15.
No.
Plus x over 15.
What is it?
Y plus x over 15.
Thank you. X plus y equal to 15. Why? Because this bigger triangle. So this ratio here of 15 over x plus y or y plus x over 15 is equal to the smaller similar triangle. That's how you set up ratio. You can cross multiply in this case because this is a multiplication. This is just a property for the thing. So it'd be 6x plus 6y. And I can reduce that to 9x equal to 6y. The derivative is so much easier compared to the prior one. So it'd be 9 dx dt plus equal to 6 dy dt. And 9 times dx dt is what? Well, dx dt is 5, right? Wait, dx dt is not 5. dy dt is 5. dx dt is equal to 6 times 5. Sorry. And then dx dt is gonna be equal to 30 over 9, which is 10 over 3.
The XDT supposed to be the 9 or 3?
9.
9.
I think that line was wrong. Okay.
So 10 over 3 is dx dt. Now dx dt is the answer for which one? For A or B? B is correct. So this is a B. How do I do A though?
Is
Do you like take away like his length? Because they give us his height. So we know it's 6.
That has no relevance how fast the shadow is growing. I mean, it
Oh,
does.
how fast?
It does, but not in that way.
Or is it tip of his shadow? But the tip of his shadow is his height. So it's here.
No.
Oh, wait, yes, that's the shadow.
Here's something else that. Oh, he's that little.
How do I answer A? We got B is 10 over 3 feet per second. Anthony, can you tell me how do I do A? Hurry up. Okay. This is Z, which is the from the lamppost to the shadow, to the tip of shadow. Z equal to X plus Y. dz dt is equal to what? dx dt plus dy dt. Does that make sense? And dx dt is, I believe dx dt is 10 over 3 plus 5. So it's equal to 25 over 3. That's it. And the feet per second. And so that is the questions here. That's the answers here. Now, if you realize I never use 10 feet at all, 10 feet is irrelevant of how fast the shadow is growing and how fast the man walking and how fast the tip of shadow is. So 10 is never used. It's extra information to throw you off. You guys are homework. Oh, some of you guys, who's coming retake today? Okay, better be prepared. Over prepare rather than under prepare. Please. Otherwise, I won't even grade your paper. If I see that you're under prepared, you're not prepared anything, I'm not even looking at it. Devin, you alright? You just tired or something happened?
the mom.
Huh?
It's like a family discussion.
About what?
Yeah, we get to move.
Oh, okay. So you are gonna have to move. That's not, I mean, look, sometimes it might not be for the worst. I feel like in this moment it is, but that was a situation required. Stay strong. You are thriving everywhere. Have a faith in that. Okay?
Finish it. How do you finish it?
Huh?
When it finishes.
Take it easy.
Have a great day, Mr.
You too. Today's such a great day.
They forced me to take it. You're